Very good afternoon to everyone and welcome to this program on Green and Clean webinar organized by Ministry of Energy and also the Hindu in collaboration. The name of the program is called Saksham 2021. This has been collaborated with the Hindu. They have been organizing this event from 16th January to 15th February 2021. Organized by Petroleum Conservation Research Association, PCRA, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, to sensitize the masses about conservation and efficient use of petroleum products, which will lead towards better health and better environment. We're happy that we have been glad enough that Hindu people have accepted to deliver a session for our Anurag University. And here we have got a resource person who is eminent personality who has been organizing many events related to this green and clean energy, which is very need of the hour. And green and clean energy is very important for everyone to make our society a better society. We have got the resource person, Professor Krishnaswamy R. Ramana. We're happy and glad, sir. We would like to invite Professor K.R. Ramana, sir, who is a graduate in mechanical engineering and postgraduate diploma in management and MTech in industrial engineering and management, specialization in operations management and project management. He is also a certified energy auditor by Bureau of Energy Efficiency, Ministry of Power, Government of India, a chartered engineer and fellow of the Institution of Value India. And his profile goes on. So now I invite today's resource person, Professor Krishnaswamy R. Ramana, sir, Director, PG Studies, National Academy of Construction, to deliver the webinar on green and clean energy. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Srinivas. On behalf of Petroleum Conservation Research Association, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, I thank Anurag University for inviting us, and also as a part of the Hindu. It's a joint venture of Hindu and the PCRA for conducting this online webinar in the form of workshop. It is called in industrial workshop. It's under that format we are doing this program. But since this program has been initiated by Sri Dharmendra Khan, who is the Minister of Petroleum and Natural Gas, he is the person who is the head of the institution, the government side, and here from 16th of June for sensitise Saksham 021. Okay, this is a 1-month program starting from 16th of January till 15th of February 2021. Where we are going to cover a huge number of people in this country from different maybe women association, maybe colleges, institutions, maybe clubs, a very wide range. Because that's more important for the students community or the university colleges. They come under the program of fuel conservation in schools, colleges, and public places. Under this, we have the group talk in schools and colleges, where we are covering the target audience minimum of 2,000 per district. That is the target which the government has planned. Okay, under that we are coming. I will start. It's a very time program to really cover many aspects. So what I am going to draw is a small agenda, and we will strictly follow that agenda so that we are within the time frame. Okay, so we'll start with the Saksham 2021 pledge. Pledge is very, very important. This pledge has been prepared both and Saksham 2021. That is the pledge. Then we go the tagline of this year, as given by Pradhanji, is green and clean energy, green and clean energy. That is what we are going to discuss. What is green and what is clean energy? This will be describe what is green and what is clean. And then based on this, having understood green and clean for the youngsters, now they have to apply this in there. We are all, I mean, I am talking to engineering students. So how do I apply these green and clean energy concepts in our engineering? You know, where we are standing in India is a very, very important thing you should know. Are we up to the mark, or where we are not up to the mark in adapting this renewable energy? That is where I would put a question, big question mark, which everybody has to answer themselves. Okay. Then comes the last one, which I am going to cover with a very, very short video, because until a video is shown, people don't get a grip of the subject of sustainable built environment. So where I am going to see a small professor from IIT, he has shown, demonstrated how he is living sustainably, not depending for anything outside beyond the limits of the house. Everything you say, you name it, water being generated, power being generated, gas being generated without, and gas being used for cooking, for your own kitchen gardens, vegetable gardens. Everything is within the boundaries of the house. Okay. So this, with this example, at least it is going to spark the imagination of the people, and how we are going to bring about a change. You see, though government will go on telling many things which has to be implemented, but it has to be taken up in small steps, and every individual will adapt it at his level of understanding, and it has to be done. Okay, then only there is a meaning and effectiveness in all these concepts of green energy and sustainable energy. Okay, with that, let me start, because this is the starting platform. Now, when we talk about this pledge, I being Indian, Hindi is the national language, we should all know. Okay, so let us take this Pratigna. Sanrakshak Shamata Mahotsav Pratigna. This is the one that is drafted at the ministry level. Pratigna, let us take just see. I'm just giving the Pratigna. हम शिष्ट ने सभी कार्यों में पेट्रोलियम का उत्पादों के संरक्षक हेतु सतत प्रयास रहेंगे, ताकि देश की प्रगति के लिए आवश्यक इन सीमितों संसाधनों के आपूर्ति अधिक समय तक संभव हो सके। आदर्श नागरिक होने के नाते हम पेट्रोलियम पदार्थों के व्यर्थ उपयोग को रोकने के लिए लोगों को जागरूक करेंगे, ताकि आगे आने वाले पीढ़ी के लिए एक बेहतर वातावरण सुनिश्चित कर एक नव ये स्वस्थ भारत की निर्माण कर सके. So this is the pledge. I will just read it in English so that those who are not very good at Hindi, at least they will understand. We do hereby pledges, we do hereby solemnly pledge that we shall continuously be striving to conserve petroleum products in all spheres of our activities, so that the supplies of these scarce resources last longer or the progress of our country. We will shoulder the responsibility of good citizen and endeavor to create awareness among the masses to avoid wasteful use of petroleum products, so as to build a new and healthy India for our future generations by ensuring a better environment. So this pledge focuses on two things which you should understand. One, he is talking about that we should conserve these resources, fuels, which will last for longer time, so that at least it is available for our future generation. That is point number one. Point number two, to secure energy, we have to find some, we are finding, and we have already got into renewable energy mode. And India, you must know, one of the countries in the world which is doing a lot of solar power generation, and that is really creditable. Okay, so we are doing that. We are contributing to that clean energy. So, but we have to be more. It should percolate down to a common man. If I ask in this crowd, I don't know how many professors and students are there. I will ask them only one question: how many of you have a power plant in your own house? That's a question. I want that answer for that. I, for myself, have got a power plant of 1 kVA in my house. And whenever power goes, even for 2 days, I need not depend on your electricity board power. It is available. It is like preaching, Gandhi preaching something to even anybody. Until he practices himself, he should not teach. That's what it is. So I am preaching this because I have got a lot of sustainable energy in my house. Okay, still have a cycle. I'm 70 years. I still drive my cycle. So I will start here today at this point in time that please, all of you have one cycle in your house today. If you have, please purchase it. I am seeing in every house people, even youngsters, driving the scooter, burning the petrol and wasting energy, which is very scarce resource. Is it not that we should have a cycle which is more healthier? When in a country like Germany and Japan, people go on cycle day in and day out for smaller distances. Why not in India? That's what it is. Once upon a time, Chinese and Indians had a lot of cycle population. It is no more available. It is now. So it is time we have to switch over to those. We should start thinking about that. That is where I start this class with. Okay, green and clean energy. Let us try to understand what is green and what is clean energy. Okay, I'll go in the sharing mode, Mr. Srinivas. Just see whether the sharing is screen is
You
visible.
can, yeah,
Okay,
you can share, sir. You can share.
just tell me whether it is being seen.
Yes, your screen is
This
visible, sir.
you're visible. Thank you very much. I still see people joining. Okay, that's fine. Green and clean. Okay. Now let us talk a few minutes about green. Few minutes I will talk about clean energy. Then I switch over to net zero energy building, where we are applying the concept to the construction of buildings, and then we end with the sustainable environment, built environment, habitat. Okay. Now let's understand what is green. I know that most of you heard about this green energy. The green energy is the energy generated without burning fossil fuels and increasing the carbon footprint. If that is what it is, what is green energy? It is talking about energy generated without burning fossil fuel. See, nowadays, if you see, most of the energy in the form that we are using today is the power that we are getting for driving our pumps in the house, our motors, all these things. These are all, and also the lighting, the fan, the heating, whatever you are having electrical appliances. And this energy is coming from a distribution system and a transmission system. I'm going backward and then ultimately landing into a power plant. This power plant takes uh, uh, takes the fuel and generates the energy. And this fuel, what can be this fuel? The starting point can be a fossil fuel like coal. It can be oil. If you go to Gulf countries and even US and all, most of the energy is coming out of oil and gas. And then if you go to countries like France, where chunk of the energy is generated from nuclear fuel, and then we have a lot of countries producing power using water, hydro power stations, and countries like Indonesia, and in countries where there is a lot of geothermal energy, which is the heat available under the earth. So that crust is full of heat. So that energy can also be harnessed and generated. Now, among these various types of energy, which is the green energy? Naturally, I will go to the switch over to the second paragraph so that you will understand what it is. Green energy provides real benefits for the environment since the power comes from natural resources such as sunlight, wind, and water. See, we always talk about in Sanskrit Panchabhutas. In the Panchabhutas, these three bhutas, that is in the form of fire or sunlight that comes out of the hot ball sun, and then the wind that is also generated on the globe, surface of the globe, there is always wind available, and this wind generation is due to difference in pressure. Okay, and then the water is available. What are the source of water? One is the groundwater, precipitation, that is rain, and then the sea water. Even seawater is converted into potable water. In a country, if you live in a country like Gulf countries, which has the world's largest desalination plant, which converts the salt water in the ocean into potable water, drinking water. That's what they are doing. But the conversion process is very costly. We can't afford it. So water is available, but water, how it is, water is harnessed for power generation. You have the power station. You will find the turbine that is rotating because of the waterfall from a height, and that turns the turbine and then connected to the alternator produces the power. So you have these resources, natural resources that are available, and you should harness it. Constantly replenished because they are always available. They are continuously replenished. There is nothing like a fuel energy like coal or oil or gas, which is going to be, it's only available in the whole world in a fixed quantity. Even there is a formula that is given to find out how long these fuels are going to last. It is always by a ratio, beautiful ratio called reserve by production ratio. This reserve by production ratio will give you how long, as of today, how long this coal, petrol, oil, and gas are going to last. What is the total reserve capacity in the globe divided what is the production rate as of today will give you how many years we can go with these fuels, oil, gas, fossil fuels. But whereas when you come to these natural ones, that is natural resources like sunlight, wind, and water, there is nothing like being exhausted. They are always infinitely available for us. So there's not only availability, but also these are the energies that is not going to generate any pollutants in the air that may harm the life, not only life in the air, but also life in the water. All the flora and fauna put together can be affected by these fossil fuels. These energy sources are the direct opposite of unsustainable carbon emitting fossil. He's drawing a different opposite. There is green energy, that is energy coming from the natural resources, vis-a-vis that of a unsustainable carbon emitting fossil fuels are the ones which we should discourage and slowly start moving from fossil fuel to renewable energy. And we have been using this because we were not concerned much in the earlier stages when even you take when the steam engine was invented by James Watt during the 17th, 18th century. That is the time, where the engine was run by coal. Even during the Second World War, mostly even the buses were run by steam. Okay, so burning what is, after all, you are going to create steam by burning the fossil fuel, which is going to pollute. But in those days, the population was so minuscule. Much was not spoken about these things. But now the population of the world is more than 7 billions. India itself is 20% of the world population, 1.3 billions. And we can easily get affected with these pollutions. Health effects will be there. So we have to take care of these benefits of green energy. So why green energy is important? Because of renewable benefit of the economy. Renewable energy provides, and it is reliable power. There is nothing like something, there is no. And there is need for us to do this because the fuel diversification, we have to diversify from using a fuel to wind, water energy, which is better for energy security. Security means security against, it's not a threat. When you say defense security, it is against the threat of the invasion of the neighboring country. But here it is not invasion, but you will get depleted with the energy, paucity of energy, because there is a fixed quantity of fossil fuels. Once that is exhausted, then what you are going to do? That's the question. Energy security. So you have to find an alternate method. Okay, and that alternate method, what we are talking, is a green energy, and we should look at that. Lower risk of fuel spills, reduced need for imported fuels. Renewable energy also helps conserving the nation's natural resources. So this is all about the green. Having spoken about green, let us come to the green. What is the clean energy? Let us take a look at that. Okay, let us take a look at that. Now we come to the clean energy, and why clean energy is important, because these are the two coined words for the tagline for this sa- Sakshamam 2021. Using clean renewable energy is one of the most important actions you can take to reduce your impact on environment. Out of various forms by which we use these energies, it is the electricity production. That is, we are converting the raw energy into the secondary energy. We always say energy is classified in three forms. One is the primary secondary energy, one is the commercial non-commercial energy, one is the renewable energy, non-renewable energy. So when we talk about primary and secondary energy, all these fossil fuels in the natural form, a coal, a oil, a gas, a nuclear fuel, you take plutonium, thorium, uranium, all these are nuclear fuels. They are all again available as minerals and in fixed quantity. Okay. And then, the secondary form of energy is how you are generating the power, how you are generating the heat, how you are, these are the secondary energy, electricity. That is the secondary energy. Excuse me, sir. I'll just get it. Ashwin.
Yeah, meanwhile, after listening, at the end, we'll have a Q&A session. So if anybody has got any doubts, or if you have any, if you need any
Yeah.
clarifications, you can ask at the end through chat box.
Okay, fine. Now, okay, fine. So the out of the various forms of the power energy which is coming from the power stations, that is generating the power, there itself you have got a lot of emissions at that point itself. See, the emission does not come once the power is produced, it comes through the transmission system, the distribution system, and the end consumer, that is our houses. So it is, if you see, 1 unit of energy which we use in the home is equivalent to, mathematically it can be proved, is equal to 2 units of unit generated at the generating station. 1 unit consumed is equal to 2 units generated, and that for burning that equivalent of 2 units, we are producing 2 units. You can always calculate, there is a ratio of output to input, how much of fuel you are burning, how much of gas you are, I mean CO2 you are throwing into the atmosphere. Okay, the greenhouse gases. Okay, so all these things can be worked out, and we can prove that it is going to throw, all these are going to throw harmful smog, toxic buildups in our air and water, and it impacts the environment. Okay, so so there is a need for the use of clean energy in place of those energy which are coming out of these fossil fuels. So we have to look into how clean we are going to have clean energy being used. Okay. So when you talk that, how are we? How are we at our end? Maybe a student, maybe a housewife. Each one of us have got a role to play in contributing to this green and clean energy use. Okay. So if you see, in terms of the secondary energy, the primary energy is the raw energy, the secondary energy is the electricity. Electricity is also the secondary form of energy. See, let us take a look at an average Indian. What is the power consumption per capita? Just like your income per capita, what is the power consumption capita? Definitely our power consumption capita is definitely somewhere in the range of about somewhere 300 to 500 kilowatt hour. That is units of electricity per annum. That is our average. That is, we can say, even it was earlier below the world average. A typical developed country like America, let's take America. In America, at least per capita energy consumption is 11,000 kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour is 1 unit. 1 unit per year they are using. 11,000 units per year per person. If that is just to get you an idea. So we are standing below the world average. We were standing, probably we are coming very near to the average, and maybe we can exceed. It all indicates the development of the country. The more you are developed, you are going to use your standard of living is high. You start using a lot of electrical gadgets. What was not available electrical machineries for those people who cannot afford. No average man, a middle income guy is using everything is electrical, iron, electrical heater, electrical washing. May not be dishwashers in India. If you go to a country like US, even a poor man uses dishwasher. Okay, all these are electrified, so the per capita electric consumption is going to be high. So the generation is going to be high. But you should not take like that. As I told you, 1.3 billions out of 7 and odd. We are 20% of the world population. Definitely, our in terms of our network, power networks or energy, we are one of the highest in the country. So a lot of things, we are one of the world's either first, second, or third in terms of that, because India being a big economy. So we have to understand that. Okay. So every contribution of every individual is going to impact our nation. That is what you should all understand. Okay, you are in India among the 1.3 billion population. Any action, whatever you do, if you do good, it is good. If you are going to do bad, it is going to be bad. Okay, so you have to understand that. From that point of view, this is to be thought. So the 5 actions that need to be done at a individual level is, let us take a look at these 5 points for being clean. Use energy efficient lighting like compact fluorescent lamp, LED light bulb in your home and workplace. Let us take that small example. You can see, even if I say one incandescent bulb, the earlier ones which we used to use, nowadays also it is available, but there are, you can buy those lamps in 10 rupees and 15 rupees, a 60 watt, 40 watt bulb. But these are going to, if they are being used from a power plant which is going to burn coal, they are going to emit a lot of carbon footprints, which is going to be environmentally damaging. So whatever the output which you used to get out of 60 watts bulb, I'm not talking about the luminous aspect, lux level. If you take a LED lamp, if you measure the luminous efficiency, what is efficiency? Where we are talking about energy efficiency. It is one of the pillars which is given by the minister. 4 pillars he talked. One is energy security, energy efficiency, and green energy, and also clean energy. So when he's talking about that, the minister is talking about that for the country. We are using a very efficient energy lighting system, that is LED, which has got the lux levels are very high compared to the unit of wattage that you are putting into the light. That is, you are increasing the energy efficiency. That's what we are talking about. Energy efficient lighting system. We are talking about light. It is energy efficient lighting system. Next is important thing. Tomorrow onwards, you are going to please use such efficient system in your house, which is going to cut down the energy levels. Okay, and so it is going to put a low load on the power plant and low fuel burning on the power plant. That's how you become greener. Turn down your water heater to fine warm setting. How many people are doing this? No, sir. It is set by my electrician 60 degrees centigrade. It is coming warm with the steam in my house. When it is pouring, then I am pouring water. I'm sure all of you are doing that. Hot water that is coming out of the geyser is being cooled by another bucket of water. Then what are you doing for heating again, cooling? Why don't you set the temperature at 40, 45 degrees? What comes out, just to take a bath without adding more cold water. In that way, you are saving the energy. How do you save the energy? Please, all of you recall your basic science. What is the specific heat equation? Sensible heat calculation, MST, mass into specific heat into difference in temperature. Mass is always the quantum or the density of material you are taking, specific heat and difference in temperature. What is the difference between the ambient temperature and the heated temperature? So if you are having 60 minus 30 or 40 minus 30, 20 degree difference, and that much of the heat you are going to save. And I can calculate back the cost of saving and also the energy input saving. Everything can be calculated. And we can see that how much carbon footprint also can be reduced. Everything can be connected, okay? Unplug your cell phones and laptop chargers when you are not using them. How many are doing this? How many are doing this? Please set your laptop, even laptop on the laptop, the timing for I mean the power off. It need not be 10 minutes. It can be changed in 2 minutes. After your use, automatically it should go off. Okay, they are saving energy. Use energy saving settings on the appliances you have, and Energy Star labeled appliances as per the Energy Conservation Act in 2003. We have mandated that there must be energy labeling done for many products manufactured in this country. Just like your IS standard, we have got energy labeling for the product. When you go to buy a refrigerator, you have to look at that, understand that, ask them, what is this 3-star, 4-star? 4-star is more energy efficient than a 3-star. 3-star is more energy efficient. Probably the price can be the inverse, because higher the star, higher the energy efficiency, higher will be the product price. So you have to understand what buying, what you are using, how much energy you are using, how much bill you are paying. Okay, replace the filters in your furnace and air conditioners periodically. This is nothing but telling, if you are using a motorcycle or a car for yourself, you have to keep it in very good condition, cleaning them, cleaning the filter, giving it for servicing, putting correct pressure in the tire, because all are having a direct impact on the energy levels, the amount of oil consumed per distance traveled. That is where you will get the bottom line. Okay, so you have to know that. Now let us take a look at the renewable energy. How much is the proportion? This is a statistic from US electric generation plant mix. In 2016, US was generating from the electric generation using fossil fuels like natural gas 34%, coal 30%, and nuclear 20%, and renewable energy it was using in the total mix, energy mix, only 15%, and the remaining were 1%. That is 1% is the other form of energy. Maybe what is that? It may be energy that is coming out of organic matters, okay, or trees. These things can be the other left out energy. Now, 15%, what is renewable energy? What is the energy mix of the renewable energy? You can say the 44% of the chunk of the power produced comes from hydro sets. Then it is followed by 37% the wind turbines, okay, and the 10% is to biomass. Biomass is all those energy that is from the plants, from the organic matters, okay. And then you have solar energy, 6% of solar energy, and geothermal energy is again 3% of that. This is how they are. I mean, now here I want to only tell, because somebody should think why there is a less proportion of 6% solar, because these countries, Western countries, they have less number of days of bright sunlight, unlike India. So countries like India, which are tropical, and then we should be able to harness this solar energy and produce a lot of power. And for all those engineering students, I don't know how many of mechanical, electrical engineers are there in this group. One of the things which I would say is in the newly upcoming trends on storage, hydro storage plants, and appropriate mix of solar and wind energy. And some of the plants which we are doing in India is a world-class power plants. World-class means world-class, nothing to beat us. Okay, there is an appropriate mix of wind and hydropower, and solar power, all the three mix. These power, depending on the proportion of sunlight in those areas, as well as the wind, because wind is again only in certain regions you have heavy winds, and also the hydro plants, the hydro storage plants, which is a new concept for most of you civil engineers and the electromechanical engineers, that we know that water is falling from high level to a lower level to turn the turbine. Just think a few minutes that these hydrogen storage plants, the water that falls at the bottom is again pumped back, and again it is made to fall continuously without any interruption. You need not depend on rains and monsoons for these storage plants. You see, whenever there is a lean power period, it will produce power, and enough power is stored available, and that power is ready to run the turbine in as a pump in a reverse mode. It will pump the water from the lower reservoir to the higher reservoir, and then again it falls and produces the power. This is something a very upcoming concept, and it's already these plants are being implemented in Telangana and Karnataka and all these places, storage plants. This is going to be, we need not depend for this water on during the monsoon season, which we used to do. So these are all renewable concepts that have been getting implemented in this country. So that is one thing we should all know as engineers. Okay. Now coming to the having spoken about these concepts, what are the effects, bad effects of this fossil fuel power generation is whenever you are burning a coal or an oil or a gas, the energy is produced. How the energy is produced, all of you know, by combustion, by heat. Okay. When you combust the material, you are going to oxidize them. The constant units, carbon gets oxidized to carbon dioxide, sulfur is sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, and then if they are incomplete combusted, then the carbon becomes carbon monoxide, which is very harmful. Sulfur oxide, very harmful. Nitrous oxide, very harmful. All this have got on the human being. There are a host of literatures available. Some of them are American medical associations have written so many articles on that, how these fossil fuels are generating and creating so many havocs in terms of smog, in terms of diseases like what we call bronchitis and other lung diseases, asthma, bronchitis, emphysema. All these things are the effects, side effects which will come. And the not side effects, the effects of fossil fuel, and then particulate matters, the suspended particles after combustion is also, when it is inhaled, it is going to be, I've got respirable dust and unrespirable dust. When I go into our system, it will get clogged, and then we have all diseases, occupational diseases. Okay, carbon dioxide and mercury. Mercury is also another highly toxic metal that is released from coal-fired power plants. So mercury accumulates in the fat cells of fish and the animals. It is not affecting the human being because the fat cells of the fish it gets, and naturally human being eats fish and gets affected. You know what is happening to this COVID, the story of COVID. I need not tell you how, from where it has come. You start disturbing the flora and fauna, you start eating them, and you get affected. So all these things, if you are not interfering with that, and you know where to draw the lines, where you should be, then I don't think we would have had COVID-19 today, because of our interference with these types of things are going to cause us all these miseries that are coming. You create miseries and we fight how to come out of the miseries. This is what it is. So we have to be careful on all these things. Okay. Now, coming to the renewable energy benefit, one of the things is the energy security. Because you are not dependent on oil and gas, you are having the natural oil resource. Is nothing but, whenever you want to do development, you have to have infrastructure. When you develop infrastructure, you have to sustainably do it. That is where the sustainability point comes into the picture. The sustainable energy you have to use for all your construction activities. So renewable energy, they say in industry, is more labor intensive than fossil fuel counter. See, why it is labor intensive? Because you have to keep maintaining them neat and clean. If you have a solar plant, you will know, because I have got a 1 kVA solar plant. I know daily I go upstairs to check my water level in my overhead tank. I, at the same time, clean my panels, 1 kVA panels. It's spec and clean every day. So that is maintenance. Now, how do you do this? If you have got a 1 megawatt power plant of solar plant, how many panels will be there? How many people are required? It becomes a labor intensive. Okay. So there is employment also in these things. That also we should understand. Employment generation. That is what industry also creates positive ripple effects down the renewable energy supply chain. This is one important thing many people don't know about renewable energy. It is going to create a ripple in the supply chain. Okay, so this is where the economic development comes when we think about green energy. The price stability. Are you not? Are you shocked in the last 1.5 months? Price of petrol and diesel going up. You are paying the money through the nose. Okay, so it is not there. Don't you think now is time that we should start? We should start using electric motorcycles, which has already come into the market. So what is that? Are you going to put petrol by paying rupees? No, you are going to add charger, back charger in your own house, or you will start charging. The power requirement is the power, which is a constant, which only goes very, very minimally. So a price stability becomes one of the things when you start using this green energy. Okay, you have to take care of, look at that, those points. Okay, price stability, economic development, and energy security. Next, the electrical, all other things are again spoken about that. So what makes it, you see, is we should be taking care of all these things in a very proper way. Now, having said about green and clean, before I go to the next application, zero energy, what I need is, what is your role? Having heard about my talk on green and clean, how are you going to contribute yourself as an individual? That is a point. All of you take a look at your what you are doing, how you are doing, what you can do to contribute to greener and cleaner aspects. The first thing you can do, the simplest, the easiest thing that you can do. If I come to each one of your house, I will not see a cycle, a single cycle in your house. That is the first step you should do. Buy a cycle. Buy a cycle today. Okay, after Ramana's professor's lecture, go and buy a cycle. Keep it in your house. Whenever you go for a short distance, you do the cycling. Instead of burning the petrol in your scooter, do the cycling. Okay. And what are the two advantages? Health benefits as well as greener activity. Greener activity. We call it a greener activity because you are not burning the fuel. Okay. You're not polluting the atmosphere. So cycling, do the cycling. See, when countries like German, Sweden, and all, they use, you go see their countries, the mass cycles they use, okay, to go, even for going for work. You need not go for work, that is for shopping nearby your house. Use the cycle, okay? So that is what we should start with. So let us at least give some emphasis on this Saksham, which our ministry is trying to propagate. Until we start acting on it, it will never get the first day. So I request all of you to do that. And then whatever way you would like to contribute, you do it in that way so that, the energy is saved and you substitute the energy that is a green energy in the place of the energy which is coming out of renewable sources. Okay. With that, let me now switch over to the next topic, that is I will talk about application of this green energy in today's context. Okay, how we are going to do for all the engineers. This is one important thing which they should think about. Okay, there is a concept coming that is called net zero energy building. Now, what is net zero energy building? What is net zero energy building? I'm not going to through this verbatim. I will just show this picture and also read you this one para, which is very important. What are zero net energy building? Zero net energy building are new wave of energy reduction and environmental friendly construction or renovation projects geared towards one goal, reducing the dependency of non-renewable energy that is produced off-site and delivered to the building. These are structures with the no net energy utilization. This implies that total energy consumed by the building on a yearly basis nearly equal to the total renewable energy produced on-site or elsewhere by renewable energy sources. Okay, this concept of zero net energy is important. Means now what we are doing when we construct a building, we are taking the energy, we are buying the electricity. What you constructed, you are going to put your electricity. You are taking a permission from the distribution company. You take the electricity, put a meter, and he will come and assess the load and then gives you the energy and supply energy and collect money. Okay, monthly bill. So the energy is bought from where? From the electricity, from the generation plant, electricity supply to transmission distribution, and then you are paying the money. And there, what they are doing, the power is either fossil fuel that is being burnt. Okay, so it is going. If I go attach green carbon footprint for each individuals, then you will really get a shock that what is my carbon footprint when I use. I had a professor coming from UK to my institute once, and he gave a lecture on sustainability. And I asked him, "What is this, professor? How did you come?" Professor said, "I did not come. It is because of the permission of my student. I came to India to give a lecture on sustainability." Fantastic, I said. So I said, "Where are you staying, professor?" He said, "I am staying in so and so place." "How did you come?" "Sir, I came hitchhiking." I said, "What hitchhiking? A British? What is hitchhiking?" I went on asking some lifts and all. I came here, and I'm going to go. If you drop me in the car, I will be happy. I said, "Okay, I don't mind." So he says, I have to give my carbon footprint for my entire travel from UK to India and back. I should show them what is my carbon footprint. Even the flight which he booked was the smallest flight, consuming so much of aviation fuel in his from UK to Bombay. So he is going to do a carbon footprint. How much he has spent carbon footprint within the limits what is prescribed by the students to the professor. Something that is something unimaginable for me. Okay, so that is how they see how much. If I ask you how much carbon footprint you have used or you have utilized, okay, so you have to be very careful in that. Then only we will be able to open our eyes and see, and we take action on all these issues. In addition, building owners and facility owners try to reduce energy consumption throughout the operations so that the building uses less than available on-site energy. So what I am trying to say is, whatever you are going to use that power, if you are producing within the building, then it is called net zero energy. But if you are producing more and using less, it is called positive energy, and you will sell that excess energy back to the grid and get money also. So this is how we are going to look at these buildings in the future. But not India is far away from that. Okay, let me also tell, because how many energy, how many buildings are they first they have to look at the concept and follow the zero net energy concept. Okay, you see, this is happening in London. How it is happening? That also I was in London, and I was trying to study the energy there. And then I found that there are in each locality or some conglomerates, there are separate companies which will generate green energy and supply. And many facilities will buy that green energy and use it. Because they get some credit, and also the resellable value of the real estate goes up. So these are the concepts that are existing in this country. Okay, so we should, our real estate developers have to catch up these concepts, zero energy concepts. Okay, this is what is I'm showing you how the solar energy is generating the power. There is a net positive energy, means extra energy they are producing from the building, which they are selling it to the grid. That is the picture that is showing. Sun is there. This is the one that is giving the renewable energy. The building is producing, it is using, and then selling the excess to the grid. Okay, that's all about the zero energy. I think if you have to do the zero energy building, there are 4 points. Efficient building construction is there. That is all your real estate developers should tighten their belts and do this work. Efficient building construction, siting the site, orienting the building so that they get maximum sunlight, maximum air. All those things are a part of the siting. Next is energy system appliances. What they use should be efficient. Operation and maintenance should be optimal. Change in users' behavior. That is the big thing in India. Users' behavior. A guy has a car, big car. Everybody has a big car. Okay, and on a narrow roads they drive at a speed which is not economical. So all things are going then. Change in behavior pattern. User behavior is very, very important. Okay, and the things we can use: wind energy, solar energy, and water energy. And all these things are there. Okay, before we end this session, last one is the sustainability, sustainable habitat. I'll show you the sustainable habitat, how it is, so that you will try to see. Let me see how. How do I go back to share, new share? Okay, I have to go, I have to minimize this. How
Yeah,
do
you
I
can minimize.
minimize?
You can minimize it.
There is a minimize button here.
On the top, you'll find it on the top right hand side.
Right hand, I'm clicking right hand, I'm not getting.
Also, you can close that window and you can open the other window, sir.
How do
You can close it on the top right side, sir.
I don't. Oh, right, okay. Close lever, it will be living, not closing. Huh? Meeting, copy, share, leave. Okay, okay. No,
Unless you can use.
I'll just, uh, I'm just not saying the minimized button.
Maybe you can move your screen, sir. Your screen, which you are able to see. The grid, you can change the grid mode and you can change it if I'm right.
Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Now, the where are my green building? Okay, right. Now, before I run this small video, I just want to speak for a small. It's not open. Okay, fine. We have the sustainable built environment. Uh, all the concepts what I told, I just spoke to you all the concepts. Share with them to listen to open with open with this one. See,
Yes.
before I start, this is the last just it's a video because having spoken so exhaustively, the concept of sustainability comes by this example done by one professor of IIT of my batch in Chennai. Okay, everything. Think about water, think about gas for cooking, think about electricity, think about the vegetables which you want to grow within your house. Everything can be done without depending on the external aid. That is total sustainability. Okay, sustainable habitat. So this how he is doing. I'm sorry, this picture I've been showing this picture, but the voice is not coming. But you have title, clear title for every slides. Kindly go through the titles. You will understand the subject very well. And if you have any questions on this at the end, that will be the end of the program. You can ask. Okay. Let us take it.
Free electricity for next 20 years, no power cuts, free food, free cooking gas, and free water. This house behind me is where all of these things are free. You don't believe me? We're back with another episode of Sustainable Homes, and this time we are in Chennai. We are here to meet a man named Solar Suresh. Interesting name, isn't it? His story is even more interesting than his name. So let's go meet him.
I've found various solutions. All the solutions are very, very simple. Anybody can do it, a common man can do it. There's no rocket science. It's economically feasible, practically doable. Technology is not rocket science, it's very, very simple. Very simple. My house is almost 50 years old, December 1977 we constructed, but all these installations I have done one by one. My first one was rainwater harvesting, which I installed about 25 years ago. Then, as I said, January 2012, I installed my rooftop solar plant. I have a huge house, 4-bedroom hall kitchen, nearly 25 lights and 15 fans. February 2013, I installed my biogas plant, domestic biogas plant. Because the domestic biogas plant, different capacities are available. I've installed a 1 cubic meter capacity. I feed about 3 to 4 kg per day, but I don't feed on a daily basis. I feed depending on my convenience, mostly on a weekly basis. That's about 50-20 kg waste per week. In the biogas, heat and gas is produced. There is no pressure in the gas. Therefore, the cooking is a little slow. There's a separate stove for this. The burner holes are big. From the plant, I was getting the organic manure. I started my terrace kitchen garden. by middle of 2013, I started that. Though I have the terrace for over 50 years, I didn't do anything. Only last 5, 6 years, after installing the biogas, I started getting the organic matter. I scratched my head. Why should I throw it? Why not I use it? So kept to use. I worked on adding pots. Today I got nearly 150 pots. Because of humidity, there's a lot of moisture in the air. It's something like an air conditioner. There's a compressor which compresses moisture in the air and produces drinking water. It is as simple as that. I'm fond of giving two messages. A, do not expect the government to find the solutions for you. To find your own solution. Finally, do not trust darkness. Light a candle, light a solar.
Okay, that's the message which I wanted to give you. And you have seen that in the last video, the total sustainability, power, use of water, use of drinking potable water, gas being produced, and even the waste, what we do today. Wet waste and dry waste we segregate. Wet waste is also daily disposed on a daily basis. The collector comes and says, now you don't even generate the wet waste will become, in the biodigester, it will produce the gas. The waste that is left out can always be recycled and become good manure by compost. Okay, so you can see how this is a total sustainable concept can be applied in the real life situation and can be benefited out of this, okay, without polluting external atmosphere or loading the external system. Okay, so with this, I think I have covered my message to you under this Saksham program. If there are any questions, I'm ready to take the questions, and
you can stop sharing this. You can stop sharing the screen, sir. If there are any queries from your side, you can ask them through your chat box.
Stop sharing.
You got any? If you got any queries, you can ask your questions through your chat box. I request all of you to unmute your videos. If you got any queries, you can unmute and you can ask. If you want to ask anything, you can raise your hand and you can ask, so that I'll unmute your video. Also, I'm sharing the feedback form, so you can fill the feedback form which is available in the chat box, and you can share your feedback. If you no queries are there.
Okay.
Yeah, Yasir would like to ask. You can unmute and you can speak, Yasir Mijabek.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Can you unmute your video?
Sir,
also,
I wanted to know till what.
Yasir, you can go ahead.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes,
great.
sir. Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I wanted to know till what extent in future, like that, sir has shown the biogas plant installed in his home. So, in future, like how many houses can like take an initiative like that and implement it in their own homes and or buildings like that, or offices can also implement like that. As solar power is also getting efficient, I wanted to know about what is the market of organic photovoltaic in recent trends. Please put a light on that.
Yeah. Now, with regarding the biogas plants, if you go to remote towns in Andhra, this I used to see this a long time back, even in Andhra, the small places, towns like Tanuku and all. These industry people were using this biodigester, okay, and producing biogas and using the gas, okay. It has been more experimental up till now. It's time that we should have this practically implemented. Just like what I say, how many people, a middle class or a higher middle class, can afford a small photovoltaic power plant? I know its initial cost is high, and the payback period is high. All these things, economic wise, it is not becoming very attractive. Earlier, in a state like Karnataka, the Karnataka government used to give incentives for installing solar power plants. But we had in Telangana itself, we had under that installation scheme only. I purchased my set, which costed me in those days about 5 years back. I'm telling 60,000, my 1 kVA plant. So, but I don't know what is the reason why they are not able to continue giving that incentives. This can be one of the attractive propositions, policy issues by the government to attract the people to start using renewable energy. Until you give them some incentives, people are not, because they have to have a very high initial investment in these things. See, for an individual man, it may cost about a 2 kVA plant may cost about 1 kVA plant today costs about 80,000. Okay. So that 80,000 is a big money for him. Okay. So he says, why should I install and then I have to do the maintenance work. I have to take care of it. No, for me, I've been using 5 years. For me, I told you, one simple, even cleaning the panel daily, I go morning to check my level of water. Just as a casual walk, I go and I clean it. So these things we have to do, battery charging, cleaning, all these things like what you do in your house. So this is not, even in US I have seen the solar power plants being installed. Of course, there things are different because they don't have much sense. So it is not attractive for them. In a country like India, we should be having all these things enough affordability, and the government policy should be such that when we talk about green energy, that is, of course, it is spoken. I know that it is spoken at the oil minister has spoken, but it's time that, it is a turning point now for India to really incentivize all these things, schemes, and so that people start buying. For you to buy a cycle, what I told you today, buying a cycle is not a big issue. You can buy a cycle, and why don't you use that? So these are all contributing to the good health as well as the greener activity. So you have to do only from that point of view. Anyway, for your question regarding that biogas plants also, that is at the rural and the town levels, it can be very easy because they have space. See, today in city, what you are all living in a flat, correct or not? Where is the question of biogas plant being used? Or if you are, let us say, that's where the builders, see, please change our mindset of our builders. Our builders are still in that, they are not looking at some other aspect which we are missing. See, why not, out of these builders, Aparna, whoever you may call, okay, they are all giving you a flat. Is there any idea for them to have some plants like this, even solar, some offsite? He's using the word offsite. Building mein nahi laga sakte, kahin offsite, let that fellow buy a very big plot, build the vertical buildings and use enough space. He's only talking about greenery. Yes. Aesthetic party is talking. He's not talking about putting a solar, putting a renewable energy giving to the building. Is there any developer doing that? So we have to change our mindset. It is time we have to change our mindset. You people, engineers, have a long role to play. Okay, so we should start doing that.
Yes,
okay?
Right. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your query, and also sir has answered effectively that the mindset should change. Unless the mindset changes, the things will not change. Any other person has got any queries, you can raise your hand so that I'll unmute you. You can speak. Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I hope that the students have understood. There is a lot of clarity.
Vijay Ramaraju garu, anything just say from the point of PCRA and Hindu expressing the vote of thanks.
Before sir expresses the vote of thanks, propose the vote of thanks, I'd like to talk for 1 minute. Thank you very much, sir. Like we at Anurag University have been doing a lot of work. We have solar top buildings, and also we have got this dry waste, or wet waste management. And also we are also planning to start up this cycling clubs at our nation. And even the books, off books, wherever the students have only used 50% of the book, we are collecting them and we are making them, removing the white papers and making them into notebooks and giving them to our staff members, like maids, IMS and all, so that they can use for their kids. And also we are having an MOU with this books, where we give our old books and we're getting new books, and we are using those books for the benefit of the poor and needy.
Very good.
And the most important thing is that whatever the one-side papers which we are using them for reusable while taking printouts and all, even now when I'm using your invitation, we are taken on one side. Okay, so we are using those products, and also our students, I can say that all engineering departments are doing great job in this, and all the students are participating. And thank you very much. When Vijay Ram
only 2 points. 2 points, very important points. If any one of you have gone BITS Pilani campus, just have a look. Everything is cycle, no scooters, nothing is allowed inside. I think probably you can think about that in Anurag.
Definitely, sir.
To drive, okay. Number one. Number two, you go to L&D Center, Larsen and Toubro at Powai. Let anybody come. They have to leave their car outside, and they will use battery operated vehicles inside the L&D Center. Like that, something you have to be unique, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We'll try to look into it, sir. Thank you very much. Now I request Vijay Ram sir to speak.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. My special thanks to Professor Krishnaswamy R. Ramanagaru, and also a special thanks from my heart to Dr. Mahipat Srinivasrao Garu, who has immediately accepted our invitation to participate in this, to organize this webinar for the benefit of the students. And also thanks the Anurag University management for giving us this opportunity to convey some message through Professor Ramanagaru about this conservation of energy, this green and clean energy for the future generation. Thank you so much. Thanks one and all. And also a special thanks to our JM Naik sir, who is the DGM of HPCL, for sponsoring this webinars to selective colleges. And thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I thank our Chancellor UBDSA sir, and also Vice Chancellor Professor S. Ramchandram sir, and Registrar Sabin Fatima ma'am, and Director of Anurag Group of Institutions, Dr. K.S. Rao sir, and all the heads of the departments, and all the students who have participated in this, and also the faculty, Pratibha ma'am, the faculty from all the departments also have participated. I thank each and everyone who has been part of this, CEO ma'am, Mrs. Neelima ma'am, and our chairman, Dr. Palla Rajeshwar Reddy, and without whose support we might not have been the part of this green energy, or else energy conservation and all. And I really appreciate the Hindu group, and also the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India, for taking this initiative. And definitely, in particular, Krishnaswamy Ramana sir, who has made it very simple and gave examples, and made the people to understand the importance of this conservation of energy, green, clean energy. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everyone. I thank all the students. Thank you, everyone. Have a great time. Hope to have a safe and greener a greener energy in coming days. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.
Thank you.